The Battle of Marathon, the will to freedom against tyranny. The sun rose over the Attica plains. A golden light spread across the Marathon plain, an agricultural land with a sandy beach stretching out to the sea about 40 kilometers northeast of the ancient Greek capital of Athens. The year was 490 BC. The Persian Empire of King Darius I, one of the largest empires in history, extended its power from the Indus River in the east, through Central Asia, to Egypt in the west. If we look at the map today, the land of this empire includes Iran, Iraq, Turkey, Egypt, Pakistan and many parts of Central Asia. People called him the Great King of Kings. Athens, on the other hand, was just a small Greek city-state located on the Mediterranean coast. Unlike many peoples of that time, the Athenians did not have an absolute king. They organized their political life in a primitive democratic way. Many years ago, Athens had supported the revolt of the Greek city-states in Asia Minor, now Turkey, against Persian rule. The Athenian army even went so far as to burn Sardis, a major administrative center of Persia. Therefore, King Darius of Persia considered it an insult and vowed to punish Athens. When the Persian fleet of hundreds of warships reached the shores of Marathon, tens of thousands of soldiers poured out: Persian infantry, Scythian archers, Mede cavalry, soldiers from Egypt and India, a sea of people with fluttering flags. They were so numerous that just their footsteps made the ground shake. Standing in front of that sea of people were 10,000 hoplites, Athenian citizens wearing bronze armor, holding round shields and long spears. Hoplite was the name of the Greek citizen army, originally farmers and craftsmen, who only put on armor and went to war when the country was in danger. They were not as professional as the Persians, but they had a strong spirit of discipline and solidarity. They were accompanied by only 1,000 soldiers from Plataea, a loyal ally. The city of Sparta, famous as the military power of Greece, had promised to send support. But because of the religious festival, they had not arrived in time. So Athens understood: either stand firm, or be wiped off the map. Among the Athenian generals, the most prominent was Miltiades. He had lived in Asia Minor, and understood the Persian way of fighting. In the Council of Generals, many were hesitant, wanting to wait for Spartan reinforcements. But Miltiades insisted: if they waited, the Persians would march straight to Athens, at which point the city would be devastated and undefendable. They had to attack right at Marathon, where the narrow terrain could limit the Persian cavalry. Finally, his opinion was accepted. The next morning, the Athenian hoplites lined up in a long line on the field. Shields connected to shields, spears pointed forward, forming a solid bronze wall. On the other side, the Persian army lined up horizontally. Tens of thousands of archers drew their bows, and the cavalry waited ferociously for orders. Everyone believed that Athens would only defend. But when Miltiades gave the order, something unprecedented happened. The entire Athenian army simultaneously charged straight into the Persian army. The distance was nearly a mile of open field. Persian archers poured arrows like rain, covering the sky, falling like a sandstorm. Many hoplites fell, but the ranks still held. The round bronze shields still clanged loudly, like a pounding thunder. The moment of collision was an explosion of both steel and blood. Spears pierced chests, shields collided with shields, and shouts resounded throughout the field. The Athenian center was pushed back by the enormous pressure of the Persian army, seemingly broken. But Miltiades had arranged the formation cleverly. He deliberately thinned the center, while the two wings were dense. As the Athenian flanks closed, the Persians were caught in a pincer attack, squeezed from both sides. In the narrow space, the Persian cavalry could not perform. Their infantry, accustomed to fighting with bows and short swords, could not withstand the tremendous pressure of the phalanx tactic. The Athenians advanced slowly, but each step was a spear thrust, a fierce blow. The Persian formation broke apart. Cheers turned into screams of terror, then into running. The Athenians did not give up. They pursued them all the way to the beach, killing even as the Persians crowded onto their ships. The sea turned red. The sand was littered with Persian corpses. About 6,000 Persian soldiers died. while Athens lost less than 200. But the danger was not over. Although defeated, the Persian fleet stubbornly circled down to the Athenian port of Phaleron, more than 40 kilometers away, intending to attack the empty city. Phaleron was then the main port of Athens, today located in the southern part of the capital, near modern Piraeus. If the Persians arrived first, Athens would surely fall. Knowing this, the Athenians immediately decided, immediately after the battle, they had to march back to the city. And so, the hoplites who had just gone through the bloodbath, their bodies still covered in blood, still wearing bronze armor, their bodies tired and exhausted, still tried to run more than 40 kilometers back to Athens. They had to run faster than the Persian warships to get back in time to protect the port of Phaleron. When the Persian fleet arrived at Phaleron, they thought that the port would no longer have Athenian soldiers to protect it. But when they arrived, they were truly surprised to see the ranks of hoplites waiting on the shore, their bronze shields shining in the afternoon sun. Not daring to take any more risks, the Persians weighed anchor and retreated. Athens was safe. The victory of Marathon became a symbol. The Greeks built a mass grave for the fallen warriors. On the stone stele were engraved immortal lines, praising the sacrifice of those who defended freedom. It is said that a messenger named Pheidippides was so happy with the victory that he ran straight from Marathon to Athens, more than 40 kilometers to announce the victory. When he arrived, he only had time to say, "We have won," before collapsing and dying of exhaustion. That story, although embellished over time, became a legend, and thousands of years later, Marathon became the name for the harsh long-distance running sport. But more important was the spirit of Marathon. It was not just a battle, but a demonstration that a small community, with the will to be free, could stand up to a giant empire. Many years later, Xerxes, son of King Darius of Persia, led an even bigger army into Greece, with the dream of revenge. But he encountered a people who no longer knew fear, because the memory of Marathon was always there, reminding them that the empire was not invincible.